Hello, everybody. This is Debo with Debo's Film Reviews, and this week's review will be Hitman, Agent 47. With Rupert Friend as the titular Agent 47, Zachary Quinto as the villain, John Smith, and, of course, Hannah Ware as Katya, who, spoiler alert, was supposed to be Agent 90, given how the Hitman games in this here movie, in this version, assassins, or should I say agents, are genetically enhanced, like Universal Soldier meets 007 meets Terminator kind of deals. Well, the movie versions were, especially with the villain John Smith and that subdermal body armor, synthetic body armor nonsense, or something which was not even in the game. I mean, seriously. I mean, I expect that out of a Terminator sequel, but not Agent 47. I mean, the games are a bit more grounded. Though, of course, in the games, 47 is a clone, and it's a lot of MK Ultra involved into it. But the Terminator shit, seriously, only movies. But at least they got some of the mannerisms and the weaponry rewrite for Agent 47 in this movie, because he got the silver ballers with the silencers, and of course it ain't Hitman unless he's got them silver 1911s, which in the game is called silver ballers, but they never used them in the movies, and that's both this one here and the Oliphant one from 2007. And overall, I gotta say, Rupert Friend kind of did it better than Oliphant, because Oliphant might have did a good job in it, but just did not look the part compared to Friend, who was a little bit better. And of course, with Oliphant, just did not look right bald. Unlike Friend, who actually cranked the badassery to 11. And I mean, say what you want about the subdermal armor stuff, like I've already mentioned in the plot and all, which is somewhat borderline Stranger Things, given how the character Katya is somehow a telepath and has weird superpowers or something of psychic abilities and all. Somewhere like surprise, which is just left field for Hitman. But the action and the combat choreography in this was talked about some John Wick meets Equilibrium levels of badassery. I mean, just we're just a couple of pistols, and he's just like, bam, 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 just don't miss. It doesn't miss. Even some scenes of other, which is closer to the game with alternate kills, but not just with guns. Like, for some reason, they had like in the airport yard, and they had like this weird little pig sticker gun from, like in No Country for Old Men, where Anton Chigurh had that little thing, had that somewhat in that scene, which was weird for an airplane part yard, but talking about when they, in that scene when 47 teams up with Katya, trying to convince her that he's on her side, and Smith's not is the one that actually wants her dead, which is kind of weird, because that's about one of the flaws of the Oliphant. But the Oliphant versions and the Friend versions of always try to give like a human nature to Agent 47, which in the game he's all business, but in movies it's all about how he wants to betray Diane and wants to get out the life and all, which is one of the most overused tropes in action films, of the reluctant gunslinger. But overall, was an excellent take on it with, when they go for quad for when they team up, when 47 teams up with Katya, and then and he goes helps find her dad, and they goes to one of the more epic scenes, like when he's in that red Audi car, and then he's jumped by that team of mercenaries, and then he just goes out in the corner, and and they're all going down zip lines, and he's just going again, whips out them 1911s, just goes equilibrium on them, bam, 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 equilibrium. Talk about some level badasseries, and I'm going to say this is one of the rare examples of close enough to a video game adaptations of movie adaptations of video games that actually stepped it up. Stepped it up, and oof, talk about some level, talking about some badassery there, compared to that left field shit with Katya and her telepath powers, and we're just somewhere across to like Wanted meets Stranger Things, and then that back to that subdermal armor, which was I would expect from out of a Terminator sequel, but not Hitman. And I think I might have already mentioned it before, but yeah, and I mean, excellent casting of a villain of that Quinto got, and especially when he supposedly gets his comeuppance multiple times, like first time when 47 and them show up for the first time, and they, you know, when 47 takes Katya away from Smith, and he just takes his gun and just plugs the whole magazine into him, only to slow him down. And then the train yard, talk about that hand-to-hand level bad combat. And I mean, when he just ducks under that train, and woo. And of course, at the final showdown, when it's like when they're at that facility, and he just has like a hand-to-hand match, and then 47 gets the garrote wire, and then plugs it to like a power thing, and it electrocutes him. But post-credit shows that he somewhat survives, but of course it practically won't make a sequel to this one, given the critical flop it was. But overall, this is one of the A for effort on video game films, and that's saying a lot, because a lot of because you know how everybody knows how video game films are. I mean they could adapt comic books and cartoons to live action pretty good, but never video games. But at least they kept this one R-rated and violent like it's supposed to have been. And I mean, the action core, I already mentioned it before, but just can't get over how badass the action levels were of to the point that you almost would have thought that John Woo directed it, but it wasn't. It was Alexander Bach. It was not a big name in Hollywood. And back to the storyline where they mentioned how Katya's dad was the one that started the agent program, and he genetically enhanced his own daughter. And I'm just like, yeah. And like, what do you think you are, the professor for Powerpuff Girls? Why was the professor making little girls in the basement to begin with? I know that's a little off topic, but hey, enjoy the joke. and then he tries to escape from the program and with her, only to lose his wife in the process, and then puts her in hiding like Jan Erso in Rogue One until like a until like the showdown when he's dying of cancer and he just wants to reunite for one more time. And then also at the end when they team up with those on those on those agency goons, and when they meet Agent 48 and they both simultaneously draw some pistols and take him out. And overall, I'm going to say this is a 4 out of 5, and that's saying a lot for a video game film. I enjoy the concept, but next time get a decent actor. I'm gonna say next time should have been like Luke Goss or it says this time. As much as I like Rupert Friend's performance, but I'm gonna say this time should have been next one should have been either I'm gonna say Hugh Dillon or Luke Goss would have been better. But I'm not saying Rupert Friend did a bad job because he was a hell of a lot better than Oliphant. But I will review that later on. So enjoy. So it's a 4 out of 5. So enjoy this 4 out of 5 masterpiece, everybody. Peace out.